I'm Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Cierrah.
The United States has been acknowledged as the melting pot. If America is a melting pot, then why are there so many stereotypes? There is an immense amount of stereotypes of African Americans, and not only African Americans, but stereotypes of all races.
Most of the time, they are negative stereotypes, and usually they are just misconceptions. What stereotypes come to mind when you think of African Americans?
I'm sure that everyone has heard the same stereotypes of African Americans over and over, one of them being rap and hip hop music are only for African Americans. But that's not true. Music is for everyone.
Exactly. Although hip-hop music was created in the late 1970s primarily by African Americans and Puerto Ricans, it has spread worldwide to every race. We usually think that the rap music produced by African Americans have negative themes such as sex, drugs, and money. But not all raps are about that either. Many rap songs are about social injustices, discrimination, and racism.
We think that African Americans are the only ones that listen to rap, but actually, out of all the consumers of rap music in America today, approximately 71% of them are white and only 29% are Hispanics and blacks. Now, does that prove that rap music is only for African Americans? Absolutely not. See, as hard as we try not to, we always have these stereotypes that we think of, and most of the time they aren't true.
Now, who has ever heard of African Americans being violent and abusing drugs? African Americans are incarcerated in nearly 6 times the rate of whites. In the year 2001, 1 in every 6 black men had been incarcerated. That means millions of African Americans are being put into jail every year.
Although we think that African Americans are the race that abuse drugs, in reality, 5 times as many whites are using drugs as blacks. And even though 2/3 of crack cocaine users are white, blacks are being incarcerated for the use of drugs at 10 times the rate of whites.
From times of slavery, the black race has always been viewed as inferior and as very violent humans, and the stereotypes seem to just continue on through society today. Now we are aware that that doesn't apply to every African.
We all have been to elementary school, middle school, and high school. As we look around our classrooms, it's a mix of all different races and cultures. Even though this is how it's set up, we still have a stereotype that African Americans are uneducated and drop out of school.
When we think of African Americans dropping out of school, we usually infer that it leads to the African Americans getting involved in crime related to drugs or other violent activities, which may be where the previous stereotype derived from also. But this stereotype overall portrays African Americans in a very negative way.
Just as the other stereotypes were, this one is also not true. Many African Americans strive to go to school and receive an education.
That's right. So many African Americans are educated. Of all the African Americans that are over the age of 18, approximately 78% of them are high school graduates.
Not what you would expect after hearing that stereotype, right? Well, in the year 2003, 333,000 African Americans graduated from high school. Of the 333,000 African Americans, 194,000 enrolled into college. Comparing that to whites, there was only about an 8% gap between the numbers of high school graduates that enrolled into college that year.
I certainly don't think that proves African Americans are uneducated. To add on, in 2009, a little over 1 million African Americans were enrolled in college, where in the same year the number of African Americans in prison was lowered by 200,000.
Why do we think that African Americans are violent?
When we look at the rate at which blacks commit homicide, the rates have shown to decline much more than the rates of whites. I'm sure we know many African Americans that are kind-hearted, friendly, and not violent.
Where do stereotypes come from? They can come from lots of sources.
Stereotypes can come from your peers, your family, your community, and other people surrounding you.
They can come from the media, the internet, or history. Even if the stereotype is incorrect, the media and internet plays a big role in helping the stereotype spread.
No matter where they come from, the important thing is that we know which stereotypes are true and which stereotypes are not true. The stereotypes can depict different races in both positive and negative ways. Being able to understand that the stereotype is a misconception and learning not to instill these stereotypes in our minds is the most critical part.
We don't want to judge someone just because of the ideas we've heard throughout our lives.
What we want everyone to learn is that profiling is not what our society should be doing. We must get to know someone before we judge, and once we do get to know someone, we need to be able to embrace their personalities and character.
That's all we have for our talk.
Thank you for listening.